of the Bears' wild, unbelievable 25-24 victory over the Raiders in Las Vegas Sunday afternoon. I'm David Kaplan. It's brought to you by our great partners at the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. They are the official truck partners of the Chicago Bears, and our great partners at Studio 41 Home Remodeling Showroom. 13 locations, studio41.com. Okay, there was so much to not like about that game until they did exactly what I scream about with all our Chicago teams. Find a way to win a game, period. Somehow, some way, you have to get on that plane tonight 2-2 and not 1-3. And they found a way in the end to make enough plays down the stretch to win a football game. Holy cow. I was furious watching their inability to stop the run, their inability to run the ball. And then that last drive, I thought was really, really a great thing to watch Caleb Williams get him down the field. He made some really good plays. Roma Dunze with some really, really good routes. And then DeAndre Swift, who did not have a great day running the football, got himself a first down at the 3, maybe close to the 2, and then he ran it in for the game winner, and then Josh Blackwell makes a play. Let's get into all this. I'll give you the good, I'll give you the bad, because some of the bad was freaking terrible today. Terrible. And it cannot continue. But we'll get into it. Let's do it. It's also brought to you by our great partners at Tasty Trade, stocks, crypto, futures, options. Whatever you trade, you should do it at tastytrade.com. First of all, this morning, I said on our Coffee with Cap segment, you have to, A, be able to run the football. The Bears were horrific running the football today. B, you have to stop their run game. They were worse than horrific at defending the run. It was the coming out party for the top draft pick of the Raiders, Ashton Jeanty, who ran for north of 100, had 3 touchdowns, and I thought the Bears defensively against the run, terrible, absolutely terrible. But sometimes you have a guy who steps up and makes plays and puts you on his back and wins you a football game. Let's get right into our Abt Player of the Game. That is an easy one. Kevin Byard, you are ridiculous. He played like an all-pro safety today. He's been an all-pro in his career. Byard, 2 interceptions. And then don't forget the third down stop of Ashton Jeanty right before the ill-fated field goal attempt for the Raiders. That was Byard that made the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. That forced them to kick that field goal. It left the Bears a little bit of time where they could have gone down the field and tried to kick their own. And Josh Blackwell said, hang on, I got you. Kevin Byard is our Abt Player of the Game. He was simply magnificent all over the field. There's your promo code. Save you $25 at abt.com. Kevin Byard, hats off, and we love that you are part of the REKAP family with your show Intercepted right here on our network. That leads us right to the play of the game. I am sitting here in the studio, and I'm watching like this, and I'm closing my eyes, and I'm thinking, Daniel Carlson's got a huge leg. Is there a way we can make a play? We've seen a bunch of blocked field goals in the NFL over the last 2 weeks especially. I think there were 7 a week ago. And guess what? Josh Blackwell, like he was shot out of a cannon, comes around the end, did not jump it, was not offside. Boom! Gets a hand on it, ball game over, Bears freaking win. To get to 2-2 is so massive and so huge that now you've got next week off, you've got the bye. And this will allow the coaches to try and clean some things up, figure out what they're going to do on the offensive line. And don't forget, as bad as some of the things were up front today on the game-winning drive, you had Ozzie Trapillo at right tackle because Darnell Wright didn't play today, and you had Theo Bennett at left tackle. And somehow, some way, they found a way to win a football game. Cole Kmet, dude, you were horrific today. Horrific. That throw that Caleb threw to him, a dime inside the 10-yard line, and he dropped it early in the game. Horrible. Absolutely cannot happen. Cannot. And then he had 2 false start penalties. And then there was the throw on the sideline, and I know it was a difficult play. I'm not coming down on Cole for that one, but it is a catch that a Pro Bowl caliber tight end, if you think you're a Pro Bowl player, you got to make that play. It was low, but he had a chance at it. That ball was a little higher than I think that people realize. He didn't make the play. And he had a bad game. But again, you have to find a way when the chips are down. Somehow, some way, you've got to win a football game. We got to talk about this Raiders run game. And we got to talk about Maxx Crosby, because that dude was living in the Bears' backfield. I think Caleb had 3 passes batted down at least. 1 was picked off by Maxx Crosby. He was getting in the backfield with regularity. And I know they talked on the broadcast. There was a couple times where the Bears, it was designed for him to get to the backfield, and then they would try and throw over the top of him. Well, the problem is he's so big and he's got such a long reach, he batted the balls down. You're lucky there weren't more interceptions today. Only 1. And that was another huge key. You got to win the turnover battle. 4 by the Raiders to 1 by the Bears. That was the tipped ball by Maxx Crosby. Bears forced a fumble and recovered it, and then 3 picks. 2 by Byard and 1 by Tyreek Stevenson. The Dr. Pepper play of the game, Josh Blackwell's blocked field goal. It could be a turning point in the season, because now you get a couple weeks to try and heal up, and now you're going to take out a Washington team that lost again today. They are banged up. They are not as good as people think they are, because they went and made a run last year in the playoffs. They're a fine team. I'm not telling you they're bad. I'm telling you that's a winnable football game. But if you play like this, you'll get blown out on national TV. You come in and play like you are capable of, you can absolutely beat the Washington Commanders. Did you see the interview with Ben Johnson and the halftime reporter as he came back out? He controlled that interview, and I thought he was awesome. That's not the identity of the Chicago Bears, he said, and you'll see something different in the second half. And whether he chewed him out at halftime, whether he made adjustments, all I'm telling you is they're getting on the plane at 2-2. Prior to the game-winning touchdown drive, the Bears had 3 red zone appearances. 3. 2 field goals, and that is it. Their first half offensive productivity was absolutely pathetic today. Let's go inside the numbers. Brought to you by our great partners at Sinus and SnoringMD.com. This guy doesn't snore anymore because of those fine people. Let's look at these numbers. Time of possession, 33 minutes, 10 seconds for the Bears, 26:50 for the Las Vegas Raiders. Turnovers, 4-1. Those are massive. Look at the rushing numbers. The ability of the Raiders to run the ball to the degree that they did. I mean, it's incredible as I'm looking at the number of yards that they ran for. The Bears, 70 yards on 25 carries. That's brutal. How about the Vegas Raiders? 240 yards. 240 yards on 31 carries. That's a 7.7 yard average. Completely unacceptable. But in the end, you drafted a guy number 1 to take you down the field and win you a football game. And somehow, some way, he found a way to win you a football game. The play of the game, again, has got to be the Josh Blackwell block, obviously. But the Ashton Jeanty 64-yard touchdown, that one can't happen, where he beat a bunch of defenders and then Kevin Byard couldn't get him on the ground. He's in the end zone for a touchdown. That could have been the play of the game. Swift, the 2-yard game-winning touchdown, that could have been the play of the game. Any of the turnovers you forced could have been. But in the end, Josh Blackwell, man, great job. And the Chevy drive of the game, it's a game winner. 11 plays, 69 yards, took 5:11 off the clock, and DeAndre Swift gets into the end zone, and the Bears win the football game. And I got to give you the stat of the day. You're going to love this one. Listen to this stat of the day that Larry Mayer from Bears Report put out today. Rome Odunze just became the only NFL player with a receiving touchdown in each of the first 4 games this year, and the first Bears player to do that and score a touchdown in each of the team's first 4 games of a season since Walter Payton in 1986. In the end, you know what? It's like graduating dead last in law school. You know what they call you? Lawyer. You know what they call you in med school? Doctor. And you know what they call you today? 2 and frickin' 2. You found a way to win a football game. Now, we got a bye week coming up. Ben, need some adjustments. Mr. Poles, I'd like to see you go get a running back, and I'd like to see you figure out the moribund state of your offensive line with injuries. You have got to make some additions here. This team's 2 and 2. They've earned it. Take that.